Thanks for listening to GYST.
You're listening to Get Your Shit Together with Adina and Diane, a digestible health and fitness show for women.
Real quick, the content of this podcast is intended for general information only and is not medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Chat with your healthcare provider before making changes. Okay? Okay, cool.
I think they got it. Let's jump right into this week's episode.
Hello. We have had some friction getting back into it.
It sounds like we're fighting.
I know, no, it's not fighting. It's
like
just
friction between friends.
Getting our ducks in a row with all of our tech stuff. Did I send you that meme that was like, my ducks are definitely not in a row, and I'm pretty sure one of them is a pigeon?
No, but that sounds about right. Yeah, and Mercury's not even in Gatorade, but from lighting, if you're watching on YouTube, I see those views going up. I see y'all watching on YouTube. I'm feeling very summery over here, and then of course it's nighttime where Adina is.
But look at my tan. I am summery as well.
Yeah, it's just bronze. Feels like summer. Is that Childish Gambino? Yeah? Yeah,
Which
there's a
one is
Childish
it?
Gambino song that I always think of. I'm not going to sing it. But like the light keeps going in and out because Michigan does this thing where it's cloudy and then suddenly it's full sunlight. And the contrast with my pale skin with my black hair does something.
I think we're gonna have to close those shades and get you a light.
A ring light. Give me some studio lighting.
Stadio key light.
If anyone has spent any time on TikTok, I actually like this influencer. I like her style and she's blown up and I can see why. Just her style of vlogging. Alex Earl. It's this Alex Earl light. Oh, I can show you on YouTube. Which is great for winter on videos, but we tried it before recording and it looked like I was filming a Blair Witch
Like you were
Project.
being interrogated.
Yeah. And why have iPhone cameras come so far that you could see deep into my pores, but my MacBook, my Mac Pro, whatever, like the camera still looks the same as it did 20 years ago.
So yeah,
Exactly.
I'm getting a new laptop this week, which I'm very excited about, and now you can link your laptop with your iPhone and use that as your webcam.
Yes.
I could also use like my actual camera as a webcam.
Your fancy cam.
But yeah, it's like a whole nother setup thing. But anyways, I've been deep in like video lighting YouTuber land.
Adina was like, do I put a sign back here or is that too gamer? Like you're gonna get a gamer chair and like LED strips.
Because I've been recording the Postpartum program.
Yeah.
Which is a sentence that has so many P's in it, if you've noticed. Every time I mention it on stories.
And you don't have a pop filter on your mic.
I need a pop filter on my phone now.
Yeah, on your mouth.
But I've been recording all the modules for that, and like my recording setup is just it's fine, but there's just like, I'd like it to be a little cuter. Yeah. And the setup of my room is just tricky because the hallway and it's small, so
are you open to suggestions if they're watching on YouTube? Like, what does the backdrop
totally
need?
am.
Plants.
I think I'm gonna put a little snake plant and then maybe get tube lights. It's just this ugly ass air conditioner that like there's nothing I can really do about. But when I record for my modules and exercise demos, you don't see it because it's that away. But I wonder if there's anything I can do for the pod setup that
a green screen with like a mountain.
Maybe you need to make me a quilt.
Yeah, with snow. I mean, and if you're watching, we'll stop talking about our environment for those of you who can't see, but we're trying to paint a picture if you can't see, right? So behind me, if you missed last episode 100, I shared my Show and Tell, which I'll back up. See? Do you see it? That's my throw quilt, which is like GYST colors kind of. And Doug. Yeah. Doug is sleeping. Look at him. He's so cute.
So cute.
Yeah. So send us your feedback about Adina's backdrop. I guess about mine you can if you want, but I don't really plan on making many.
I know. I was just gonna say maybe don't send me your feedback because like I don't know if I'm open to feedback right now.
Yeah. Well, let's dive into what we're consuming because I know we have a lot to cover today. We have a big summer ahead. You're like traveling soon, so I know we got a lot to wrap up before you travel. I mean, you'll have come back by the time this airs, right? But
yes,
let's dive into
quick and dirty trip across the Atlantic
again. Yeah,
with many children. Wait, you were saying about Show and Tell, and that is just so cute. Every time you say it, I'm like, it's so cute. What can mine be? Like ferment and tell?
Flex and
like just I want to show them my croissants that are proofing downstairs. Here are my mussels and here are my croissants.
Yeah, I'm gonna think of one.
Okay. I'm waiting. So what you eating over there?
Me? Well, I tried a beef stick and I shared it when I did a Costco haul. I'm trying to bring those back on stories. Chomps. I do love chomps. The classic. That's good. I tried this taco flavor and it's not for me.
No.
Oh, it's not for me. I regret it. I don't like it. But I am drinking mineral rich Brevi. Bevy? Mineral rich Bevy. But what I'm eating, honestly, I don't have much except my matcha latte we talked about this morning. I don't think I talked about this last episode. We both really love an iced matcha.
We talked offline about this.
Offline.
Like, you should tell them about it.
We had an offline sidebar without you about matcha lattes, and I love
Sorry,
peak.
gals.
And I brought back matcha from Japan, but I haven't opened it yet. So I'm working through my peak tea, which is also very good, but I needed more tea to milk ratio. And I've been using Trader Joe's vanilla bean paste as of today with maple syrup.
Saw it on TikTok.
Yeah, I saw it on TikTok. And next I'm using freeze-dried strawberries, and I'm going to try to work that in there. And we had our niece over and her 6-year-old daughter, who can't read yet, but she's like, I don't think she can. She's very smart. She sees at the top of the pantry, she goes, freeze-dried strawberries. And like, she wanted them for a snack. But I was feeling kind of selfish. I was like, that's not what those are. And I put them away, and I was like, I think she recognized the package, but they are set aside for matcha.
That's like when Minnie goes places. This is the funniest thing. There's like oftentimes she's at places where there's food that she doesn't eat because people eat a lot of shit garbage. And so sometimes the parent of the kid will be like, was there anything I can get you? And she always goes, a fruit salad? Like, not just like an apple, like, make me a
fruit salad?
goddamn fruit salad.
And ambrosia. Have we talked about ambrosia, which is a food of summer? Yeah. 70s fruit salad with cottage cheese. So she wants a fruit salad.
She always goes, can you make me a fruit salad? Like,
kids love fruit.
Just give her an apple.
Yeah, chop it up and toss it with some cheese. I do love a cheddar. Not really eating anything else that exciting over here. What about you?
Same. I actually just finished dinner, and even though it's like 1,000,000 degrees here, I made a beef stew.
That doesn't sound like your summer food.
I know, it really was just out of convenience. Like, I had stew meat in my freezer, and it was just like one of the things I pulled out to defrost. And then Abe wasn't feeling so well today, and I just needed to throw dinner in the Instant Pot, and I had potatoes and I had stew meat, so I was like, guess we're having beef stew in the summer.
And you're all like sweating in your apartment.
It actually was nice because like the air was on and it was hearty and yummy and nice, but yeah, not a summer fave around here. No. I am making croissants again. They are currently proofing downstairs, as I mentioned. And also a new pizza place opened.
A pizza shop?
That was like season 1. A pizza store.
Yeah, pizza store.
A new pizza store opened in like right near the Shook, and it is just delicious. It's such a nice guy that owns it. The dough is like partially fermented. He said it was like half sourdough. I didn't quite know what half sourdough is, but my guess is that he like uses a starter and like ferments the dough, but then adds flour day up. I don't know. I gotta ask him more. I didn't go into the store. Donnie did and had a chat with him.
And he didn't ask all the right questions.
No, he did. He asked, but he had this conversation in Hebrew, and so it was like he got some of the information, but then didn't have enough vocabulary for like the detail question follow-ups, you know. But the pizza is excellent. This guy, I think he used to work in like real estate or something, and then he got burnt out and decided to open like a hole-in-the-wall pizza shop where he makes everything in-house and just wants this like real vibe going in the store. And
it sounds like the beginning of a rom-com.
Maybe things will unfold. No, he's happily married, very sweet man, and anyways, the pizza's delicious, so that's exciting for us.
Yum. And speaking of sourdough and fermented things, Adina said she would bring me some starter of hers, dehydrate it, bring it to the States so we can have the same starter and I can get my sourdough adventures started like years later. Like on the phone this morning.
Listening.
On the phone this morning. And I mean, intermittently Adina's like, did you get it started yet? I'm like, no, it's too cold, whatever excuse. I don't want another pet. And she's like, I think you've built this up in your head. I'm like, you're so right. And now the starter that I ordered like 2 years ago is expired, or the starter, whatever. I don't
I
know.
mean, you could still try to rehydrate it, but it just might not come back to life 'cause it's been a while, and it'll just be cute for us to have the same starter living in both our houses.
Yeah, I waited this long. I can wait for your dehydrated starter.
Yeah, you can wait
so.
another week and a half. And then also about starter is I think I'm really good at teaching people how to make sourdough, because basically my approach, listen up girlies if you've been like intimidated by sourdough. This is how I teach all my friends. First of all, if you do come over to my home, I will try to send you home with something fermented. And so usually I send people home with starter, and then I tell them that they're not allowed to try to make bread yet. Their goal is just to learn to keep their starter alive, and they can make things like pizza dough or crackers or pancakes.
All good
And-
things. Or muffies.
Yes. And this approach has worked for everyone that I have introduced it to, because I think what happens for a lot of people is like bread is like a little more temperamental. It has a lot of steps, like conditions need to be correct in terms of like figuring out the temperature in your house, figuring out the temperature of your oven, just like all these little things. So the sourdough starter discard recipes are way easier. It's just like instead of yeast, you're putting starter in, or, you know, crackers are literally 3 ingredients. It's like starter, olive oil, and flour.
Yum.
And it's so easy. And then you start to gain confidence and you're like, I can do this. And then
I
one
can do
day
an
you
artisan
just-
loaf. Yeah.
One day you just wake up, you watch a YouTube video, and next thing you know, you're making your own sourdough bread.
Love it. Yeah, I overheard someone at a bookstore. They were like, I wish people knew that there are other breads besides sourdough to make. And they start listing them off like there are so many other baked goods. So I'm excited to try.
Yeah, we're going to get
With
you up
your
and running.
encouragement and accountability, I guess. I am doing, by the time this airs, I will have taken a sourdough. No, it's not a sourdough. It's a croissant class. So I used to like to bake years ago, and then I don't like having to stick to measurements and such, but I like butter and I like flaky things. So taking a class.
I know. That's the thing about croissants that were the hardest for me, is like you have to follow the instructions. And like, I don't like following instructions.
Yeah.
But the first I attempted croissants once, like a year ago, and I didn't follow the instructions and they didn't come out good. And then I did follow the instructions and they came out amazing.
Yay.
So it's hard.
Well, let's
but
do an
it's worth
episode
it.
on episode or workshop on sourdough. In the
Yeah.
meantime, what are you watching? What's new on the media front since last week?
Okay, finished Hacks since last week. Did you finish it?
No, I think I fell asleep.
Then I won't talk about it because I need to wait for you to finish it.
Is
but
it
I
a
did.
wrap? Already?
Yeah, that was a season, but they got renewed for another one, and I loved it. I'll save it for when you finish. Let me know when you finish it, and then we'll talk about it on that episode.
Yeah.
But outside of Hacks, we've actually been rewatching ever since we had this conversation about Baz Luhrmann. I realized that Donnie had never seen the Moulin Rouge.
How? Even I, a non-musical lover, have seen.
I know. And I loved Moulin Rouge growing up because, I mean, it's great, but you know those movies that you just like saw at the right time? Like, I think it was one of the first movies that I saw. I probably saw it when I was like 11 or 12, and it was one of the first movies I saw it. Yeah, a little bit. But it was one of the first movies that I saw that like had a perspective. You know, it was like the director had an angle and had a way that he wanted to tell this story, and it was like pulsing through the movie. So it was like the first thing that like really, you know, it was like I went from watching like Disney Channel original movies to watching
that?
Yeah, and like it just was such a cosmic shift that I was like, oh, movies can do something, like they can tell a story in a way, you know. And then I'm pretty sure this was the first time I've rewatched it like since then. So it was a little shocking based on like how I remembered certain things and how they actually were. And it like that movie is a fever dream, you know?
Yeah,
It's
like all of
really
his
crazy.
movies, right? There's always so much
Yeah.
going on. They're so overstimulating, but so fun.
Yeah.
I want to work back through some of my old favorites, but yeah, Neil hasn't seen his Romeo and Juliet, so I have to go there because we've been going through like late 90s, early 2000s rom-coms.
Yeah,
A little
fun-
bit, but I
fun
haven't
time.
really been consuming media. I've been consuming Billie Eilish. I always call her Billie Eilish. Billie Eilish's new album and really liking that. Fixated on a few songs. And I guess it's not media, but you know I'm going for that pizza party the Scholastic Book Fair pizza party. I'm on.
You're gonna get it, girlfriend.
Yeah,
I
the
know
limo
you
ride. Did other schools do that? Like,
mine did not. There was other stuff.
you had other prizes or like book fairs at least? Like ours?
Yes, but I don't remember the details because I never put myself in the running. Like, I was like,
You didn't.
we
earn
had
it.
one thing where like there was like no TV week. Like if you didn't watch TV for a week, you got a prize. And I was like, my prize is continuing to watch TV.
Yeah, it sounds like, am I grounded? Like I loved Sailor Moon, and my mom would, if I topped back because I was a yapper, you know, she'd be like,
Yeah.
no Sailor Moon for 2 weeks, and like I would pack my bags.
I loved Sailor Moon as well. Did you have the do you know what I'm doing on YouTube? Can they see it? Did you have the toy that you like pulled the string and then she like, you know what I'm talking
No, I had everything else though. I had a crescent wand. I had
Do you know
a
what I'm talking about? Do you know
I
the
was
toy
deep.
that I'm talking about?
No.
You know those toys where it's like okay, so it's Sailor Moon.
And
Like
she
she is here. And then you pull a string and it like winds her up and her arms go out and she like floats up to the sky. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I can
Someone
imagine
please
it.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't know that toy where you like pull the string and it like
Boop.
okay.
Just like that.
I'll send you a video later.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, don't get me on derail me with Sailor Moon. I could talk about like nostalgic anime so long. But I've been reading instead quite a bit. So I've read 33 books so far, and some of them I do count audiobooks. Okay, someone's going to want to fight me on that, but you're still consuming a
I'm gonna
story.
fight you right here, right now.
Someone's still reading it to you. And there are a couple like rom-com books I'm listening to, like Christina Lauren. It's a author duo. Actually, they write everything together. They had Unhoneymooners and Honeymoon Crashers I'm listening to, and it's a full cast and dramatized audio. So they're like in Hawaii and you can hear glasses clinking and waves crashing. Some of it feels a little bit overacted at first and a little bit cheese, but it's also kind of a cheesy rom-com. So that's fun to listen to. And then I'm heavy into my tech thriller or sci-fi thriller era right now. I've talked about Red Rising, but I'm really into Pines by Blake Crouch. It's earlier, the writing's kind of like airport fiction where I'm like, it's not great, but the plot is fantastic. If you watch Twin Peaks, it's kind of like a nod to that. He was inspired by that. This author wrote Dark Matter, which was a very good multiverse story, very popular sci-fi. So in this one, it's kind of reminding me of Don't Worry Darling, in that people wake up, they're in this idyllic little town, but something feels off. And why can't I leave this town? And what else is going on outside of the town? Are they trying to keep us in or keep other things out? And I kind of went in blind, and that's all I want to say, but the plot was really good. I guess it's a 2-part series on Hulu, so I'm going to finish the series before I get to that. And it's juicy, not scary. I can't do scary.
Would this podcast be better if I also read books?
I will forever try to get you to, maybe that'll be like, that's like your musicals is fiction.
Is books. I just like, who has the time? You know what I mean? I feel like there's still so much stuff I need to like conquer.
Yeah. And I mean, you have 3 little people too, but now instead of like watching things, Neil's like, what do you want to do? And I'm like, I want to read my book. And he has been watching Love is Blind Japan. Because he's still like, that's his new Roman Empire, right? And so like he's watching that, and so he's reading too, because he's reading the subtitles, but I'm reading my cute little book. The other one in the queue is Artificial Wisdom by Thomas Weaver that I'm buddy reading with my friend Mary, and that one is like, something has happened in the near future, 30 years from now. Climate change has caused a lot, like mass deaths, but was it caused by humans? We don't know. And there is an artificial intelligence dictator. So 2 things that could seem a little bit too plausible, but people are raving about it on Book Talk, so I'm liking it so far.
All right.
Yeah, that's my media.
Sounds like a riveting time.
It is.
In Diane's home.
And this like saturation is really grinding my gears on this top here.
We're gonna crack the case, don't you worry.
It is summer. At least I'm not going to complain about the summer sunlight.
No, enjoy it. Soak it up.
Yeah. So summer bodies, huh?
This is a perfect segue. Yeah, we wanted to do this episode because apparently pop culture and the mainstream are still talking like this. We've joked about this on many episodes, but like we really do live in a bubble, and then I'll come across something on the internet where it's like shred for your summer body, and I'm just like, Wait, what? People still
Yeah,
do that?
summer shred. And we're both wearing bikinis for the people watching on YouTube or not watching on YouTube.
Yes. Dwight is now cutting off Phyllis's head with a chainsaw.
Ring, ding, 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 ding.
Is that a Muppet Babies tattoo? So yes, if
Summer
you
vibes.
are shredding for summer, this is the episode for you. You know, we're going to talk about all about our summer bods and just how we're getting ready for how we've been getting ready.
Right. And I mean, summer is solidly here. So chances are if you're a woman who consumes any type of media, you're on the socials, you've been hearing about how to get your summer body for the last 3 to 6 months. And maybe you're someone who's also feeling like, wow, the season is here, the summer is here, and feeling some kind of shame if you don't have a quote unquote summer body.
I forgot to train for my summer body,
Oh,
so
no.
now
What are you going to do?
need to just skip straight to winter.
Yeah, train for the winter body. Ugh. And it's all just so annoying. And I hate that so many people miss out on, I don't know, going to the beach or wearing shorts or just enjoying summer because of what their body looks like or doesn't look like. So, you know, depending what the title ends up as, you know, we pick our clickbaity titles. So we wanted to have a chat from the lens of people who don't give a shit about if your body is summer ready or
It's
not.
summer ready. So yeah, we thought that it would be a fun spin to share our goals for summer and how we're preparing for living in and thriving in those bodies. Because that narrative around shredding for summer or prepping for summer or whatever it is, it's so silly. It's really silly. I mean,
You're saying it nicely.
I know. It's so funny though, because like a lot of things come up for me when I think about this. One of them is that it makes me mad and sad when I realize how many people are still looking at working out as just for manipulating body size. And I mean, I obviously value it for many other reasons. And I have seen over the last few years and the hundreds of women that have come through my program how transformative strength training and just consistent workout routine can be in so many aspects of your life that have nothing to do with body shape and size. And it makes me sad how many people are missing out on that. Not just, there's just so much that comes up for me with this, but it's frustrating because of how many women have messaged me over the years. And there's plenty of people who have come into SDHH where their initial goal was shifting body composition or weight loss. And I always try to deter that as the goal. But the reality is that the world we live in and the world we were raised in, it's very hard to unlearn a lot of that. And it's hard to separate yourself from that if you've been so steeped in it for so long. And I've had so many women that have come into the program and maybe didn't outwardly say this is my goal, but that's kind of what they were gunning for. And then I get these messages of like, I'm a better mom. I'm more patient with my kids. I'm a better partner. My skin looks better. I feel 1,000,000 times better. My sleep is better. My cycles are better. Just like how many magical things can shift when training is a consistent part of your life. I view myself as a strong person. That's like my absolute favorite thing to hear from people, especially those who have struggled with chronic illness for years, where maybe for years they just felt weak or they were constantly told you have this thing, you are in some way weak, or just felt that feeling of I have this thing, I am forever not as strong as I could be. And for that shift to happen,
Yeah,
it's just
and I
really...
hear that more on like the nutritional therapy side of, you know, I have this autoimmune condition or I feel so exhausted, like the thought of going for a walk with my kids after work or doing my workout after work, like it just makes me want to lay right down. Or people who have dealt with bloat for years that they feel uncomfortable in their bodies sun up to sundown, and it's not necessarily about like I want to be lean and skinny, but like I want to feel comfortable in my clothes and
Yes.
not like my stomach is going to explode. And so also with that too, if you are someone who's listening to this and you're like, okay, yes, I do want to be strong, and I do have a healthy relationship with my body, and I do want to have it maybe look a certain way or build a strong functional ass, like there's nothing wrong with that too. But I think that we would both agree that like the first priority that we have with our clients and the goals of our programs is to have you physically feeling well, and then other things fall into place. I love hearing from clients who they previously did things motivated in fitness or in nutrition because they wanted to lose weight, and then they later were like, you know, I want to feel good, and we focused on that, and they got their period back, they sleep through the night, they feel good when they eat foods that they never thought that they would have before, they have energy to get to the workout, and then they're like, oh, and you know what, like I haven't weighed myself like in so long, and I just noticed my clothes fit better. Like that's the bonus, but it's not the starting point or the focal point.
Yes, and also the perspective too around the marketing of this as well. Like I think something that makes me very violent is the like predatory marketing of the like shred for summer, because this is such an insecurity that's just underlying for so many people, even if they want to rid themselves of that, or they've been trying so hard to follow accounts that make them feel better about themselves, or focus on the non-scale victories, focus on the lifestyle shifts and all of that. But sometimes it's deep in there, and then when the predatory marketing comes out, you're like, wait, but do I want that?
Yeah, the marketing and also the trends of like clean girl summer. I was like, I'm like, as opposed to dirty girl summer, what is a clean girl aesthetic? What is a clean girl? There's so much to unpack with that trend, but I keep seeing, you know, get your body right for summer, like this is how to look shredded, expensive, clean
Snatched.
girls. Yeah, all of that. I'm like,
What's happening?
is that? Yeah, so yeah, we're gonna share our goals for this summer in our, using air quotes, body goals, and how we change our routines to help us achieve those goals and feel good all summer long.
Yeah, I was laughing also because like when we were putting together this episode, it's like people are so okay being like, oh wait, like I didn't work out all year, but I got to I have to shred for the summer. It's literally like the people who only brush and floss their teeth before they go to the dentist. Like,
wait, that's so right.
What? Do we think this is like health giving? I mean, I guess that's the point. That's not the focus at all.
Right.
But
right, like I work out all year round because just like I brush my teeth and floss it, like I'm gonna move my body.
Right. These are the sustainable habits that make us feel wonderful day in and day out. And these are the sustainable habits that build a body with longevity and a health span, and that we can grow old in this body and not have our bones crumble and not have...
I don't like crumbly bones.
I don't want crumbly bones.
Yeah. Yeah, so we each have a few goals, and then we'll talk about what we're doing to support those. So, Adina, take us into it. Tell us your goals.
My summer body goals. So I think, I mean, this episode is going to air when I get back from my trip, so there will be adjusting to the jet lag and, you know, reintegrating my family into our routine. But then summer happens, so it's not really a routine, but just trying to survive that post-international travel with the 3 kids.
And where are you going? How far? Like, it's not just a little, like, 2 hour.
Nope, straight back to New Jersey. I have my first cousin's wedding in NYC, and I'm taking the whole fam with. So it's going to be really fun. It's going to be a bit of a whirlwind. It's just like a 5-day trip. I'll chat more about it probably on next episode, but it's 5 days, and a few of them are a holiday, and then there's the wedding, and we're hosting another in-person club meetup on Friday. So it's just going to be bing, bang, boom. But with that, my big summer goal, which I've already started working towards, is training consistently and training hard, because I have been in the postpartum season for a while now. Ori is going to be 2 in the end of September, which is crazy. I know, time, am I right? And as those of you who've been listening to the podcast know, he's not interested in sleeping so much.
Not into it.
Not into it. So for a while, I really had to adjust my training expectations, and we talk to you guys about this all the time, but it's very important to adjust your training goals to the season of life that you're in, to the stresses that you are under. And so I was still able to train consistently most weeks. It was just a matter of not really being able to push load and using my training for maintenance more and to be able to feel strong and capable in my day-to-day life. But it wasn't like I was crushing PRs or building a shit ton of muscle. Like, it was more from the perspective of I am slowly increasing load week over week most of the time, depending on the training block or the specific skill that we were working on. But it wasn't pushing to capacity. It wasn't like training at higher intensities. And so now that things have gotten a little bit more consistent with him, I wouldn't say we're in the best place, because also we've had some travel break it up too, but he's been consistently going to sleep, sleeping for like 4 to 5 straight hours, waking up, eating for a minute or two, he goes back to sleep, and then that happens like one other time. So I'm getting more chunks of sleep and more consistent sleep. And so I've been able to start like really pushing it in the last few months, which has felt so friggin' good.
Yes.
Like the end of the last training block and now this current training block that we're in, I've really been able to push myself to those 7 out of 10 workouts that I really like. And I've been feeling that muscle coming back, which is just the best feeling in the world, when you're like, oof, the muscles
Like,
are growing.
I'm back. So you can train longer, right? Like, I think I remember talking to you when he was really partying hard at night, and it would just be really short, maybe a couple of things, but not anywhere near what you'd consider like a long workout.
Yeah, so that has definitely shifted. Like, I was not doing the accessories. So for those who aren't familiar with our programming style, usually what we do is we'll have obviously your movement prep, and then we'll have a section that's like you work on a skill, so like skill and power development type thing. It's like 1 or 2 exercises just focused on like skill acquisition, and usually those are power focused. So moving slightly lighter loads fast, or moving, plyometrics like your own body in space really fast. And then we do a strength set. So it's usually like 2 strict strength exercises where we're focusing on trying to lift as heavy as you can for very few reps. And then after that, we'll do accessories. So things that complement that strength work, or complement the strength work that we're doing on our other training days in the week. And so accessories are always what I would tell people to knock off first if they are short on time or high on stress or low on sleep. So those accessories were not happening for me for many, many months. And now I can really get through the accessories in most of my workouts, which is lovely. And also I can up the intensity, so I can work harder in those power output drills, so I can work on moving faster and jumping higher and all that good stuff. And in my strength sets, I can push to closer to maxes. So like I'm ending a set where I could have only done, 2 or 3 more reps, which is what we really want for that strength adaptation, what we really want for that muscle growth. And again, we can still have strength adaptations in other seasons where we're not pushing as hard. But when we really want to see things shift as far as building muscle, shifting metabolism, gaining strength, all that stuff, and burning fat as well, that's like where we would actually see that body composition shift.
Yeah, you got to push and work for that.
You got to work really hard. Yeah, it's intentional intensity, as we always talk about, but those sessions should be hard. We should be really pushing. The end of those sets should feel like I cannot do much more than what I've just done. If you're just going through the motions and you're feeling like I'm following the program, why am I not building any muscle, or, XYZ, whatever you're feeling about the outcomes of your workouts, I would encourage you to get a heavier kettlebell and push a little harder.
We should do a full episode on that, because I know we've sidebarred about it and how you've been going more intense, and like when to know when to go more intensely, because I know we've done many episodes talking about restorative and ways to modify when you're in a season of stress, your training and your life in general. So yeah, that would be a good full-on episode. So what are some ways that you've changed like the rest of your routine during the day in order to fuel your more intense workouts right now?
Yeah, it's funny actually. I just realized like it's funny that my summer body goal is like a process goal, because that's like what we always encourage on here on our New Year's episodes for sure. Is just like I love a process goal. It's not like I want to be X size, or I want to have X body fat percentage, or I want to build X amount of muscle. It's like I want this skill to improve. Like I want to get back my unassisted pull-ups, which has been such a hard journey this go around. It's always hard postpartum, but specifically this postpartum has been my hardest because of that lack of sleep, because of, we moved when I was pregnant and there were so many other stressors, and I definitely gained more weight in this pregnancy, which we talked about that on episode Adina got fat and here's what happened. That was a really fun one around navigating stress and bolstering for that stress. And so it's like getting my pull-ups back has been so hard this postpartum. So that's something I'm really working on. And in order to have a goal of training consistent and training hard, there's a lot of stuff you need to do to support that. And so those are the things that I'm really focusing on, which include, number one, getting in bed earlier.
Go to bed.
Yeah. It's really hard. It's just hard. I mean, you all know how hard it is. It's like you had your whole day, it was go, go, go. And then you have this moment, especially if you have kids, you have this moment where the kids are sleeping and you just stay up too late trying to cling to some alone time.
So less media for you, right?
Yeah, we haven't even been doing that much media. It's just like there's things you need to catch up on, and we've literally been watching like one show at night. But for me, when I say like get in bed earlier, I mean like get in bed before 10:45, because that's like been late for me. Like I don't even stay up too late, but that makes such a difference. Like when I'm in bed in the 9s, we are golden. It is good. Life is Gucci, and I need to get back to doing that. It also involves eating enough food and also protein, like getting more protein. And hot tip for the mamas, this is something I have been incorporating more protein powder, which I mentioned on last episode. Ways that I have been doing that is putting whey protein in my coffee. I have also really been enjoying mixing whey protein with peanut butter and stuffing it in a date with some chocolate chips. Delicious snack. So I'll pop a couple of those in the afternoon if I'm like the hours between my lunch and my dinner aren't working out. And then another thing that becomes a big part of that goal is making sure that I have backup times for my workouts if the original times that I had scheduled them for do not work out. So in this season, what's going on for me is I'm deep in filming the postpartum program, STHH Postpartum, coming at you July 1st. You can get it now on pre-sale, and it would be real stupid not to grab it on pre-sale if you know you want it, because you will never see it.
Because there is a deal for pre-sale, so don't snooze and lose.
Seriously, it's like $200 off, so do not snooze on it, my friends. So yes, I'm filming, and because I don't have a great lighting situation in here, I do film in natural light, so I have to film in the mornings, but I really like to work out in the mornings. So I've been pushing my workouts to the evenings some days, which is so hard, but I'm committed. I'm committed as Fluke, and I'm showing up for myself 3 days a week, no matter what, and working really hard in my sessions. So what that means is I need the energy for those sessions. So especially if it's an evening workout, here's what you got to do. Okay? Listen up, mamas. You gotta eat a mini dinner while your children are eating dinner. So when I feed my kids dinner at 6 o'clock or 5:30, whatever it is, I take a portion of that and I eat it in that moment as a smaller dinner so that I have the energy to train. And then the second I put Ori into bed, I go upstairs and I train. If I sit on the couch, oh, forget it. You know, that's when the mind games start.
Yeah, maybe I just want to sit here. Yeah, maybe I do it tomorrow, and maybe.
Yes, exactly. So I have to eat a small meal before. Sometimes yesterday, we were so low on carbs in the house because we were getting our groceries delivered in the evening, and I needed carbs. Like sometimes when that day is long and you've been in the sun, you've been running around, you are feeling like lazy and fatigued. eat some carbs. I'm telling you, it might
Get a
change
fruit
everything.
salad.
Get yourself a fruit salad. I literally took 2 spoons of honey and just shoved them in because I needed like quick sugar, and we
Straight
had
to
no
the brain.
carbs in the house. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it helped. And then I got through my session and I felt great. But yeah, if you're like waning, and you're like, even if you start your session and you're like, I'm waning,
You see the stars.
give those muscles some glucose, my friends.
You see the stars, which it is very hot there. Like, how hot Fahrenheit? I don't know. Let's see. You're still in my weather app, I think, but you tell me.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
the
hot.
actual number is not so hot, but
The humidity.
it's not the heat, it's the humidity.
Yes. Yes, the humidity. So it's really hot. So you need carbs to fuel the building of the muscles, and protein. So those are
Yeah.
the stars. But also, I know this is on both of our lists for summer, is hydration. Which we always talk
Hydration
about.
Nation. Yeah,
Mhm.
we did that episode a long time ago. Still relevant, still wonderful. I will say my water bottle has gotten outrageous. Like, I am carrying around a giant water bottle, and here's what I'm currently putting in it. I have many ice cubes because it's so hot and I just like need it to be freezing cold.
Yeah.
Many ice cubes, water, adrenal cocktail powder, minerals, and salt. The whole shebang. Just
Everyone
so
in.
much. Everyone in now.
And you know, I'm
And-
usually like room temp water, like in the winter, but when it is hot,
No,
give
freezing.
me fat ice
freezing.
cubes.
Yeah, I want it to give me a headache. It's so cold. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I know we talked about our
yeah,
water bottles at
salty.
length last episode, but I saw someone made ice cubes that fit the size of a Stanley. So you plop 3 of them in and they're like rings. So the whole thing stays cold. Like,
I just use cocktail ice cubes and it keeps the whole
Yeah,
thing cold.
the
They're like
big
those fat
balls.
rocks, you know? And so, yeah, hydration. Hydration is huge. Salty. As salty as the sea. I may as well just
because
fill
you're
it up with
sweating
seawater.
that out. Like if you've ever like, oh, Neil was doing yard work and he got all sweaty, all hot, and I gave him a kiss and I was like, oh, salty.
So salty.
Yeah, you better replenish that.
Yeah, so salty. Make it extremely salty. When I'm doing like in the morning, I'll do like a fun mock. It's mock cock o'clock in the morning.
As I say, yeah, it's always mock cock o'clock.
In the morning, it's like fun mock cock o'clock. That's when I get out the fruit juices, you know, the bitters, all that stuff. But when I walk around during the day, just salty ass
Salt.
water.
I like doing salt and
So much
citrus.
salt. Yeah.
Well, all good things for training consistently, and you are consistent. And I love your reminders on story, how you're like, I'm a person who trains on Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday, but you make it work even when you have kiddos and there's a program that needs to be filmed. So
Yeah.
I'm sure that's a motivating factor.
But it is a motivating factor. And also, honestly, like I mentioned this last time, but the club has been so helpful because seeing all my athletes share in the accountability space, like sometimes I literally will be like, wait a minute, like these are lay people and they are sharing about it.
Yeah.
Like, this is my job and I didn't do my workout today. Like, no, no.
I feel like it's like a person. I mean, I started it during the accountability challenge in the winter, but I've kept up my like gym mirror thirst trap pictures with my little like screenshot from the end of the workout. And that's just my little flex.
I love it. It really feels
Accountability.
good. But yeah, so then as far as that, just my other big training goal, I'll share videos on stories, but Ori has just gotten out of his goddamn mind. Those of you who were around for like Abe's toddler phase, you may remember him always being on top of a counter, like holding a chef's knife. Like we have reached that stage with Ori's, and like it happens so quick. He's so fast. Like I will turn around for 1 second. I'll go get my water bottle and like I come back and he has moved a bar stool over to the stove. He's on top of the stove. He's eating crackers that just came out of the oven. So
He's touching burners.
it's not good. But my big training goal now is just get faster. I gotta be springy. I gotta be like my reaction time has to be quick.
I saw you jumping.
Yeah, I'm jumping. I'm trying to get
You're
real springy.
parkouring. Are you like at the kids like in the playgrounds in Tel Aviv? They look dangerous. They like they would
so
shock
fun.
people, right? Like I just picture you jumping up onto the playground.
That's a good time. We're getting fast. We're getting springy.
Yeah, and I'm
So,
getting
yeah.
sorry with the lip gloss here.
That's
what that
it.
noise
That's
is.
me.
Yeah.
Those are my summer body goals.
Fun things.
How about you?
Like, I want to flex now. Well, I have 3, and the first couple are short, but they're fun. And the first one is I want to have a fat, functional ass.
Let's
I say
go.
functional ass because it's functional. Like, I'm going to be able to get up. I like being able to get up off the floor without using my hands. And I like having a fat, strong butt in my bikini. I don't need the full coverage. I want an even color on my butt cheeks. And I just like those suits, and I'm not sorry about it. And also, muscle is a great defense against diabetes, which I'm using air quotes for the millionth time this episode, runs in my family. And no, not for me. And I'm not running either right now. But my A1C is
a
fine.
Mosquito.
Ooh, gross. Smash him.
Those of you watching on YouTube, I need like product showcase mode.
Yeah.
I got that little sucker.
Where they
Yeah.
go, this is mosquito. This is the lip gloss I'm actually liking. Yeah. So my A1C was fine. It was good, but like I want to keep it that way, especially after like doing a lot of sitting during the day, working the computer. Like I want to make sure that I'm moving, and muscle is great for preventing against the beaties.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah. So
Diabetes? Who's that? Dr. Spaceman?
yeah, Dr.
I don't know how to say this.
Yeah, so my A1C
Diabetes?
got even better with food and fitness, and I want to keep that up or keep it down. So training makes that possible, and I can still eat ice cream and enjoy the foods of summer. So fat functional ass, it's in progress. Keeping this cupcake.
Loading.
Yeah, loading. Yeah, I mean, since I started kettlebells, like it's popped.
It's popping.
The
I know
second
those
one,
kettlebells will do it. That hip extension, you know.
The second one, get sun on my skin. I mean, throughout this recording where you're doing video for this episode, like the sun keeps changing, and I have light skin and like this bright top, so that's really throwing off the white balance, I think. But trying to like responsibly get sun on my skin, and it just feels good. And if you live in the Midwest, you know we went
good.
months without a lot of sunlight. So after Midwest winter, I'm all about getting that D in check and getting it safely. It's a free way to get it. I love it. We did an episode about that. And RIP Beauty Counter, but I haven't been using their sunscreens for a while. I'm really liking, for the moneymaker, the face in like this area. I like using Japanese or Korean sunscreens. I brought some back from Japan, but there are a couple that I really like. The formulas are nice. The filters that they use outside the US are different. And so if I'm going to be using actives on my face and serums, like we're protecting this when we're outside. So
I've been doing my big brim hat.
I saw that. Yeah.
Which a lot of people have been asking about. And I get all my hats from Nordstrom. Straw hats, you gotta go Nordstrom.
Are you bringing one with you?
Probably. Just shove it
I've
in my
seen some
suitcase.
collapsible ones that I traveled with before, but I'm liking baseball hats a lot right now.
You know what I do when I travel? Does everyone do this? It's just me. I bring my straw hat and I just roll up some clothes and shove it in the head part. And then I put the brim flat on the bottom of the suitcase.
Oh yeah, that would
and
work.
then it stays totally fine. Like I usually roll up some of like Ori's onesies and just like shove them in there, and then it holds the shape of the head.
I'm
And then
all about using all the crannies. Like I'll put socks in my shoes.
Gotta use those crannies.
All of those crannies. So yeah, getting sun on my skin, and like you'll see Doug if you're watching the video. He's knocked out here. I've been letting him out to go potty, and he doesn't like to touch grass for his mental well-being, as they say. Like go touch grass. He wants to just go outside, and then he sits on the deck. Like he goes to this corner on the deck and he puts his face up. So we both really like just being out there.
Soaks up the sun.
Yeah. So I was thinking about quitting my job to focus on summer and to focus on summer reading.
As we all should.
You know, but I like my job a lot, so I don't know. So those are my fun goals. And my biggest body goal, summer goal, is to build a baby because I'm pregnant.
Tell us more.
I love the feigned surprise because Adina has known for
I've known.
a
But
while.
I have to play the listener.
What? Yeah.
Yeah.
So not a
that back.
joke. Yeah, I guess we'll do a little chatty chat. And I know that we're like deep into this episode, but I'll give you like the overview. So
I hope they gasped. Do you think they gasped?
yeah, so I did catch a baby. I thought about saying like
one.
I'm gonna take care of this parasite I discovered, but it's a fun parasite. it's a fun
I think it would
parasite.
be more confusing than anything.
Yeah, I think it would, but it's, yeah. I mean, babies are kind of like parasites. Like, they need a lot of nutrients. They're nutritionally expensive to make, to build. So,
they like sugar.
Yeah. So, a little overview I could always share if anyone like cares. I don't want to like keep yapping, but
Everyone cares.
But I think it might be especially shocking to folks because I think I have mentioned on here that I've been very much child-free until I wasn't. So this was on purpose. Like, don't ask me dumb questions. Like, was this
People are so dumb. I can't.
Yeah. I mean, I will. Maybe we could do an episode with clapbacks for just like dumb things that people say. Because like some people do say dumb things. I've been fortunate that like it's been few, but I have had some clapbacks for a couple. But no, it was on purpose. I still hate people who pressure couples and ask them when they're going to have kids. But yeah, I was child-free until I wasn't. I've been working on my fertility regardless over the past couple of years, because whether you're trying to catch a baby or not, that's really important. But best souvenir that we got from Japan.
She's giving them all the details, I guess.
Is this little nugget. And like, I don't know, like I'm 34, but I feel still a lot of times like I'm a pregnant teenager. And you know, like when I told my parents, I'm like, oh my God, they're going to know I have sex. And actually I told my dad and he goes, and I mean, he didn't mean it this way, but he's like, how did that happen? Who is this person in my driveway? We were recording.
Well, Dad, you see.
He's like, how did that happen? And I'm like, well, and he's like, well, because I thought you guys didn't want kids. And I'm like, let me just tell you. So yeah, I still feel a little bit like a pregnant teen. But I've been feeling really, really good. And it'll be a winter.
We love that for you. Wait, I feel like you sent me that meme. Sorry to interrupt you. I feel like you sent me that meme when you were like starting to think about it, when you were like, wait, but if I get pregnant, then I'll be a pregnant teenager.
Yeah, I'll be a pregnant teenager.
It'll be a teen pregnancy.
That's how I feel. I'm like, am I allowed to do that? And then I also felt like I felt really good. And so until we saw the little nugget in there, the little gummy bear looking baby.
So cute.
I was like, I'm not pregnant. I'm just tired sometimes. And I think one of my biggest...
I think that's a feeling that a lot of people can relate to, especially people who have experienced loss before, of like, it doesn't feel real in the beginning. And there's a lot of anxiety that can come with the like, is this growing? Is this happening? Is it just, I just haven't gotten my period yet and my boobs are a little sore?
Yeah.
Or like, is this really happening?
Yeah, totally. I mean, I've heard that especially from friends or clients who've experienced loss before. And coming back from Japan, I was like, oh, the time travel, you know, and no.
You knew.
And I'm very attuned to my cycle. So I knew, and I've been feeling really good and mostly like myself. And just now, like, I think finally I pants, some high waist. I like high waist pants that aren't working as well anymore. So I've been having fun thrifting, but feeling really good. And I was really scared about nausea because no one likes to puke. No one likes feeling unwell and like not knowing what's going to come out of their mouth at any given moment. But I haven't thrown up, I think, since 2010, and I haven't. I think there was a day where I got nauseous when we went to a steakhouse and we did our own like self-guided tour of the menu. We did seafood tower for 2 and a ribeye and crab cakes and a wedge salad of some kind. And someone across from us was like, wow, you guys took down that whole seafood tower. And afterwards I was like, I could puke. But I think I just ate a lot of food.
I'm not gonna, but I could.
Like if I bent over after eating all that food. So feeling really good. And to support this goal of building a baby, I'm eating smaller, more frequent meals, which is something I might be doing in the summer anyway when it's really hot and humid. I don't feel like having beef stew.
Just come to Tel Aviv and have your beef stew.
Yeah.
95 degrees.
I remember having a burger in the Shuk, and I mean, it was February when we went to Tel Aviv, but it was hot, and it was a big burger, and we had like other things we were trying, meaty things. But
you got the meat sweats.
Yeah, smaller, more frequent meals. I'm doubling, tripling down on the hydration. And for me, I do love the salty water, but I've been really into Element. Is it Element or Elementy? I don't know.
I think it's like trying to be cute, but like
no vowels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Element.
Element.
Most people I hear who say it, they call it element and then they say elementy. Like they should clarify.
LMNOP. Element lime or grapefruit. I don't like really sweet things, but I do add some coconut water in there for potassium based on my recent labs. I wanted to up that. So I just like it feeling like a little tropical drink. And I also shared in a recent reel a roundup of my favorite matcocks. So some of these are bottled,
Macaca-clack.
easy recipes. Yeah, and most of them are pregnancy safe. Sometimes you have to avoid some herbs and adaptogens. Maybe we should do an episode on things that like you're not supposed to eat during pregnancy that I eat anyway, but there's some fun
I was going to say, I
matcocks
feel like the quantity of herbs or adaptogens in one can of those things, like it's
is
not
fine.
it's not a tincture, you know, like you're taking down
Exactly.
syringes
but I know that
full,
everyone's covering their butts. They're like, ask your doctor.
Yeah.
I'm like, no.
Oh,
Okay,
hello, doctor.
this is not-
you know, from Aladdin.
This is not medical advice.
No, not that doctor.
And other things I'm doing, daily movement. I've had energy now a bit more, but I was able to still train. I was doing either the leastest from the SDHH club or just the level 1 workouts as is, and only just starting to modify. I've been dabbling between leastest and the prenatal.
Wait, let me clarify what leastest is for
Yeah.
those who are listening that may not know.
Abbreviated.
Yeah, basically, like I mentioned about the programming earlier, we have a programming group inside of the club called the leastest. So it's basically that you can get the mostest out of the leastest. So it's just like the program whittled down to the most essential parts that are going to move the needle for you on your strength. And we encourage people to swap their workout for that if they're having like a particularly stressful week or low on sleep or, you know, XYZ. If
I
they're
thought you were
really
going to
short
say
on
like
time.
a particularly pregnant day, because some days I'm
They're
like, oh, I
having
feel pregnant
A
today.
day where you feel more pregnant than others.
Yeah, but other days I'm
Well, that
like,
is how we explain when to switch to the prenatal. We're like, when you start to feel pregnant, then you
Yeah.
should switch to prenatal training.
Yeah, exactly. So I've been doing those trying to get back to my 3 a day. 3 a days. Whoa, no, that would
Don't
not
do
be
that.
my
No.
3 a weeks that I was doing before we went to Japan. But yeah, just with a jet lag and then adjusting to this news and some fatigue I was experiencing for a little bit. 2 was more of my comfort zone, but definitely daily walks and having a dog really helps with that because he
Yeah.
wants to go.
Otherwise, you're like, I'm not getting off the couch today.
We did an episode on how to get through first try, and I know we've done other more pregnancy specific episodes, but I think that a lot of these would apply to people who are not pregnant too, like eating smaller frequent meals when it's hot, staying very hydrated when it's hot and humid out, keeping up on movement even on you're tired, like doing something. And Adina's given us already excellent examples of that. But also something that I've noticed myself doing is really being extra mindful of my mental peace in this first trimester. And I mean, it's a lot to process too, and just like, how do we want to do things, like building my care team and my support team and who feels safe to talk about this with, like all those things.
Yeah.
So I've been really ruthless about the type of content I consume, the people I spend time with, the hobbies that I do, and I've just been feeling really good mentally.
Yeah.
Trying to limit the stress a lot.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's such a massive identity shift, too. Like, there's a lot to process with that.
Look
Yeah.
at
And
Doug.
also, I was going to say, first of all, we love you. Thank you for sharing all of this with us. And we're so excited for you. I speak on behalf of all the shitheads.
I was yapping. I was like, I just wanted to give them the main details. I don't think I left anything out, did I? Yeah, there are
I don't
things
think
I
so.
didn't
But
say.
I was going to say, our first trimester is also from the perspective of my lived experience. So if you guys want to hear another first trimester episode with some more details from Diane's go around, do let us know in the comments.
Yeah, let us know. Especially if you want to know like clapbacks or more from someone who like was previously child free or whatever. Just, I don't know. And I'll see how much I want to share about that. But I know I've talked to some friends and about that stuff already. So yeah, lots of fun, exciting things over here. Working on our summer body yaddy yaddies. So here's how you can work with us on your summer body.
Body yaddy yaddy.
Body yaddy yaddy, or
Wait, Ori started calling Donnie daddy yaddy yaddy. And like, I have to get it on video.
has he been
It's
listening to Megan Thee Stallion?
I think so. In his crib at night.
And then he goes, "Hey."
Yeah. Daddy, addy, addy.
Yeah.
It's really funny. Okay, continue.
Yeah, so
Sorry
ways you
about
can work with this. I know we covered this a little bit last episode, and I almost spilled the beans there, but yeah, so
The beans.
the beans. Ugh, gross. One-on-one coaching.
Have you ever actually spilled beans? Who spills beans?
I have spilled milk, and then I know why people cry over it, especially when like
No, I
you go
get
and
that.
pick it up.
Ugh, I totally get that.
So ways to work together, one-on-one coaching. This was so fun last summer. I opened up a few options depending on the level of support that you want. It's been a while since I opened them publicly because I usually just fill them privately, or clients are renewing or going from RCR, my root cause reset course. But I have a week for a taste, a month of one-on-one if you want to dive in a little bit deeper, maybe with an HTMA hair test, or a couple of VIP spots for all in by application. And I'm mentioning one-on-one also because summer, I know a lot of people have a lot of things going. They're traveling, they're flying places. They don't want to be in an office or in front of a Zoom call for a long period of time. So this is a great way to do that virtually. We can text an audio message. You get casually coached up wherever you are. So it was super fun last year to help clients like dig in and like make a plan for travel, or for healing their periods, their fertility, or troubleshooting bubble guts, all those things. And I'm going to close one-on-one after October through the spring because I'll have my hands full and we'll be focusing on course stuff then. So one-on-one coaching is something to think about. If it's been on your radar, get in. And also HTMA reviews we're booking into July if you want to have that done for you situation. One thing I did want to float by the shitheads first and my larger community. If you're new, that's what we lovingly call our listeners for Get Your Shit Together. I'm thinking about doing a mineral workshop. So maybe you've heard about the HTMA, but you just want to get started. You hear us talk about salty water, but want to know like what else you can do to support your minerals so you can support your metabolism, your fertility, your energy. A mineral workshop, let me know if you'd be interested in that. And I'm also thinking about doing like a small group HTMA review like program, because I can only take on so many HTMA reviews at once, like on a done for you basis, but perhaps in like a group setting can serve and support more clients that way. So let me know if either of those strike your fancy.
Sounds lovely. Have you run an HTMA since you started growing your parasite?
No, I did it right before. I did it before we went to Japan. I did blood work, functional blood work before Japan, but I might do an HTMA. It's interesting the cravings I have. I haven't had many cravings, but the beginning first trimester, it was like, I need banana bread 3 times a week. I need coconut water. I was like, my potassium, I did need to work on that.
It's just bottoming out right now. Yes. Interesting.
Now it's steak.
Okay. I'm going to be mindful of time because we're really trying to keep this season under an hour, but it's already not happening. But I think I have to cut out a phone call I had with my dad. So maybe we'll be
and like another sidebar we had.
Yeah. Okay, so as far as working with me over the summer, you're probably used to hearing this already, but you can join us inside of STHH, which is my signature kettlebell program that you can do from home. It's 14 weeks long. It's really 18 weeks long, but I say 14 just not to scare you off because we call the last 4 weeks a bonus block.
Don't scare me.
Yeah, so it's 18 weeks of kettlebell programming that you can do from home in your PJs, and it will get you so strong and energized, and you will feel wonderful inside of that beautiful body of yours.
You will.
So if your goal for that summer body is to feel strong and capable and independent and wonderful and youthful and athletic, man, you got to do STHH. If you have done STHH in the past and you are looking for some more consistency in your training, you're looking for a community of people to hype you up and keep you accountable, you're looking for some new and refreshing programming to get you excited about training again so you can work towards some new goals, then you, my friend, need to join the club, our monthly training membership, because it's so much fun. The current training block is wonderful, especially if you are pregnant, by the way, like Diane, my co-host, who is pregnant. The prenatal programming in there right now is super, super fun and supportive of getting you all ready for labor and feeling so good in that pelvis. So yeah, that's for you. And then if you are coming up on a postpartum season, like my co-host Diane, who just told us all that she's pregnant, then you might want to grab the STHH Postpartum program, which is currently on a steep pre-sale. And that program is going to take you from lying in your bed feeling like a disconnected sack of potatoes to feeling like a strong and capable, athletic, and independent mama.
I thought you were going to say like a hot potato.
Like a hot potato. That should be the tagline. Who can get up off the floor holding her baby easily, who can throw her kids in the air and just be the fun mom and feel wonderful and juicy in those joints and incredible. And we want that for all of you.
I want a Turkish get up my baby.
You can do that.
With one hand.
Yeah. Anyways, thank you so much for joining us today, for hearing us share about our summer bodies and our summer goals. And we hope that you have some fun summer goals. We can't wait to support you in those if you would like us to walk alongside you and to help you gain energy and get strong and feel great.
Sorry, it's laughing. It's like my mom saying signing off, like bye, and then it's
things just, it's getting late. It took over.
Yeah,
anyways,
it's your bedtime. You got to get in bed, girl.
We love you. Unclench that beehole. Stay hydrated out there.
Yes, love you.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening to the GYST podcast. As always, your ratings and reviews mean the world to us.
If you enjoyed this episode, take a second, take a little screenshot, throw it up on your Instagram story, and tag us so we can thank you properly for sharing this show with other women that it might help.
See you next week. We love you. Bye.